Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Body Acceptance Podcast. I have just started rotating between longer and shorter episodes, longer being like 30 minutes or longer, and then shorter being 15 minutes and less, 15 minutes or less. So I started doing that, and this week we have a shorter, quicker episode. And this week I want to talk to you about a 5-step process that you can use for managing negative body talk. And really, you can use this process for, even if it's not related to body image, just negative self-talk in general. But because we are the Body Acceptance Podcast, I wanted to specify it to this topic. So this 5-step process actually comes from the body acceptance, I covered the mic there, the body acceptance book that I wrote and published. It is available exclusively on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. And it's just a very quick, short book on the basics of body acceptance, what it's like to either begin your journey of body acceptance, or if you've been exploring it for a while and you just kind of want to check on different areas and see if there's anything that you can improve on, or maybe you've just noticed that you've been beating yourself up a lot lately or struggling with body image, which was part of the reason I wrote this book. Is the beginning of this year of 2021, I was really struggling with body image because I gained a significant amount of weight for what I was used to from the stress of 2020 and just not being in the gym and everything like I was used to. And so it's kind of my guidebook, handbook of how I navigated that. And again, I kept it really short. As you can see, even like the lettering and spacing is really generous in there, because I want it to be more of a book that you can use to start to reflect on where you're at in your journey, and not so much compare your journey to mine, or for me to tell you exactly how to go about what you're doing, but instead to just to give you a starting point and to guide you, I guess, along the way. So if you're listening to just the audio version of this podcast on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, wherever you listen, first of all, hello. Second of all, you might be confused about the fact that I was saying you, as you can see, and showing the book. So if you're confused, it's because I've now started recording the body acceptance episodes on Zoom and uploading them to YouTube. So I've started an official YouTube channel. I mean, I've always had one, but I actually have started uploading stuff. I'm going to be over there doing weekly vlogs and then uploading the weekly podcast via video. So if you're somebody who wants to sit down and feel like you're chatting with me, then head over to YouTube. I'll leave the link in the show notes. And if you're here watching on YouTube, welcome to my channel. Again, it's still pretty new here, so let me know any suggestions or topics that you want me to cover, or anything else that you would like to see. All right, so let's get started on this week's episode. As I said, we're talking about a 5-step process for managing negative body talk or any sort of negative self-talk. This has been helpful for me because I have realized that I can say things to myself or to my body, or think things while looking in the mirror and really mean hurtful things without even sometimes realizing it. And then it's like, okay, well, when I realize that I'm doing this, what do I do? How do I stop it? Even yesterday, actually, I had thought that I had pretty much gotten over this and I've learned to be nice to myself, but I was leaving the gym yesterday and I forget how this came up, but I was just like smiling and like walking out to the parking lot. And I said something like, I was maybe wondering to myself if someone was looking at me or not. And I said to myself, you're not as cute as you think you are. And then I stopped and I was like, whoa, when did we start talking to ourselves like that again? And then yesterday afternoon, I said something else too. And I brought it up to my husband, Jason. I was like, I have not realized that I have been saying things to myself. So really, the first step before the 5-step process is to bring awareness, to start just noticing and catching yourself in those moments when you're saying things that you realize are not as supportive or loving or uplifting as you might want them to be. And this is really important because your mindset really determines your level of confidence and how you show up in the world. And it really does make a difference. You can see the difference in someone who speaks kindly to themselves versus someone who does not speak kindly to themselves. And it's also going to feed into your daily habits and the way that you treat yourself and your body. I know that for me, it's a lot easier to be kind and loving and make loving, respectful choices for my body when I'm being nice to myself, because I start to feel that I'm more worth it when I feel loving toward myself, if that makes sense. So, again, the step before the 5-step process is to just become aware of the thoughts. And step 1 then is to acknowledge the thought. So I'm going to use an example for this episode. And the example I'm going to use is maybe I look in the mirror and I think I look disgusting. And maybe I tell myself, you look disgusting. So that'll be our example for the 5-step process and how I would get through that. You look disgusting. So first, you acknowledge the thought. I just notice, oh, interesting. I just told myself I look disgusting. Okay. And you want to try and avoid making a judgment about what you've said. Like, again, making a judgment. So you don't want to basically judge yourself for judging yourself, because that is only going to make it worse. So it's just more of curiosity. Just like I said yesterday when I was leaving the gym, how I had said that. And then I was like, whoa, like, where did this come from? Which brings us into step 2. And step 2 is get curious. So you want to just get curious about, where is this thought coming from? Why do I feel this way? Why am I speaking to myself this way? Just starting to create an inner dialogue around, okay, I feel disgusting. Why do I feel disgusting? Am I disgusting? Is this really true? Or is it just something that has maybe gone on in my life this week, or I have not been treating my body with respect, and now that's reflecting in how I feel about myself, and kind of feeding that, like, that circle or that cycle. And so you just start to get curious and question the thought and see, first of all, is it true, or where is it stemming from? Once you're there, then step 3 is to decide if you want to take action, if there's any sort of action that you want to take. And this can be something as simple as journaling, or last night, say me bringing it up to my husband and just saying, like, this isn't like me, and making the choice now to bring more awareness to what I'm saying to myself, so that I can notice if it's become a pattern, basically. This also could be if you say, maybe instead of saying I look disgusting or you look disgusting, you're thinking to yourself, I feel disgusting. I feel uncomfortable in my body. Okay, so what is it in step 2? You've determined what is it that might be making you feel disgusting. Maybe you have not been listening to your body when it comes to what you want to eat, or you haven't moved your body in a week or 2, and you notice that movement helps you feel a lot better. Or maybe it's just a mindset thing and you want to start practicing daily meditations to work on your positive self-talk or anything like that. That's step 3. And when you are deciding what action that you want to take, just start to, because I think for some of us, and I know this was the case for me when I used to think that if I felt disgusting or uncomfortable in my body, the solution was immediately to try and lose weight. And while that still sometimes comes up where I feel like, oh, I want to lose weight, then I start to question that deeper of, like, what is it that I'm trying to gain through weight loss? Because what you might do is then put yourself on, like, a restricting, self-punishing kind of plan. And so I want to encourage you to think, what would be the loving choice for me in this situation or this scenario? Do I want to actually punish myself for this? Do I think that that would actually help? Or do I want to love and nurture myself? Which, again, if you say that you want to lose weight and you have, say, that intention or that desire, what really matters is the steps that you take next. So there are different ways that you can go about trying to lose weight. And like I said, one of them can be punishing and restricting by limiting your calories and then forcing yourself to do workouts that you dread. Or you can just choose to drink more water, encourage yourself to add more fruits and vegetables into your daily intake, and to practice eating more mindfully, and to take daily morning walks because you know that it's good for your mental health as well. So start to ask yourself, is this a realistic step that I'm taking, and why am I taking this? Do I really think that it's going to solve the rooted issue, the deep rooted issue? And then step 4 is to actually decide on 1 to 3 action steps that you're going to take. Again, you only need to do this when you feel that it's necessary. And it can be something as simple as just journaling, talking it out with a friend, going for a walk, incorporating daily meditations, adding more fruits and veggies, like I said, going on morning walks. And again, the goal here is to choose something uplifting and not punishing. The goal here, and this is a quote from the book, you want to nourish your body and do something that you think will directly impact what you've identified as the root of your mental agony. So you want to try and get to the bottom of what's going on. And that might sound like a really arduous task and like you have to really dig deep, but the more you practice it, the more it becomes pretty easy and second nature to detect what it is that's going on and then what you can do to help the situation. And then the last step, so step 5 is just follow up. So after you decide what action steps you're going to take, so for example, say that I have decided that because I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body, I've realized that morning walks help me get in tune with myself, clear my head, and that helps not only my physical health, but my mental health as well. So I'm going to implement morning walks for the next week or 2. And then I check in from there and decide, is this serving me? Is there something I want to tweak about this? Is this a habit that I want to keep going and add into my daily non-negotiable list? Is there anything else that I need to do right now? Am I still saying to myself that I feel disgusting? Is there anything I want to add? Just almost going back to step 2 of getting curious and then repeating the cycle again. And I use this 5-step process all the time in many different ways. So it's really just a matter of training your mind to walk yourself through it and to get used to getting curious when you notice that you're being harsh with yourself, and to get in the habit of making a loving choice for yourself instead of beating yourself up, self-sabotaging, the usual things that we have been conditioned or learned from someone else to do. And a bonus step here is to get in the habit of doing inventory on your thoughts and your habits often, and deciding if there are any changes that you want to make in, say, your daily routine or with your habits. I actually am creating a body acceptance workbook, and as a part of that workbook, one of the sections is on routines and habits. And I walk you through the process of deciding which habits are serving you, which ones are not, and then how to actually implement new habits that you want to stick and how to make those stick. So if you're interested in updates on that, be sure to subscribe to my weekly email list. I send out weekly emails with words of wisdom, with quotes of the week, with the direct link to this week's podcast episode and other things. So on my email list, you'll be the first to know about new products and discounts and things that I don't share everywhere. So to be a part of that, just visit thebodyacceptance.com, sign up for the free guide on the homepage or the tab that says free guide, and you'll automatically be added. So that is the 5-step process. That's all I have for you this week. If you decide to use the process and it's been helpful for you, I would love to hear what example or what situation that you used it for. Also, if you try to use this process and it doesn't work for you and you get hung up somewhere, please let me know that as well. I want to know where in the process maybe you got stuck, and just see if there's any way I can help you. You can either comment below Or the best way to have conversations with me is by following me over at Instagram. On Instagram, I'm at Lauren M. Kendrick, and you can DM me anytime. I love to hear from you. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel for updates. And if you are listening to the podcast, please subscribe wherever you are listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week.